Anytime there's a spike in price in Bitcoin, there's a spike in bad guys trying to steal your Bitcoins. KYC is just outright dangerous for human security and life. We have more than 18 million usernames and email addresses leaked. More than 2.2 million is with home addresses and transaction history. Women are the driving force behind purchase decisions. Economic decisions, women are the ones that are more risk averse, that are built, their DNA is built to preserve life, to preserve everything that supports life. Right now we are at more than 2 kidnappings per week in the crypto space and the Bitcoin space. These are numbers that are reported, that are known. Probably 60 to 80%, maybe even more than that, is unreported. There was a continuous war on Bitcoin using the mass media, brainwashing people into thinking that it's a criminal money, that it's too volatile, too risky, too shady. Another weakness of Bitcoiners, we overestimate technology and underestimate human factor. So we think, oh, I have this really strong passphrase, I have multi-sig and Shamir secret sharing and whatnot. But then there is a situation when they take someone's father hostage and they start cutting off fingers, and what do you do then?
Hello and welcome to another episode of You're the Voice from Prague, once again at the Trezor studio. Thank you for hosting us. I'm super happy to be here today with Alena. Hello, dear.
Thanks for having me, Efrat.
Thank you for agreeing.
Some time. You've been waiting.
I've been persistent. I've been trying. I wanted to interview you from the first time I met you, but you were like, I'm under the radar. Not right now. I'm not ready. I told you no problem whenever you're ready. I'm happy to do it. And here you are.
This is the moment.
That's it. I'm so glad that you decided to do it. And we met a year ago at the first BTC Prague that I was in, when we were at a dinner together, and we had a chat. And straight away, I think it was like a minute into our conversation, that I said to myself, oh, she's one of the real ones. She's
real human?
Real ones. You know what I mean? Like, there are not many real people, and you're one of the real ones. And I was so impressed by you. And so I loved our conversation. And I could tap in with you straight away to like communism and the history of Czech Republic and everything that this culture went through, and why they are maybe, at least some of this population is like more resistant to coercion and to totalitarianism than other places. It was so fascinating. So I'm so honored to, have developed a friendship with you and be here with you again.
Well, likewise. It was mutual, I would say.
Oh, yeah. And then when I learned that you are the queen of Bitcoin, I was even more.
I'll stop you right there.
Right. I know you're modest and you don't want people to think it, but you are. So let me just quickly share a short part of your bio, and then I'd love you to share a little bit about your journey and how you started and where you came. But Vránová, is that how you say it? Vránová.
Yeah.
Pretty good?
Pretty good.
Okay. Alena Vránová is a pioneering entrepreneur in the Bitcoin space and the former CEO of SatoshiLabs, and founder of SatoshiLabs, which is the building that we are sitting in right now, is SatoshiLabs building. So it's closing a circle in a way, where she helped launch Trezor, the world's first hardware wallet. She later continued to work with other companies in this space, and we will hear all about them. And I think you have a background in diplomacy and marketing.
That's one of the studies that I've done. Yes.
That is so interesting.
I studied a couple of things, but my professional background started in traditional finance, like the legacy financial world.
Really?
I've done business development in insurance and risk management for about a decade before joining Bitcoin full time.
So you started like early 2000s to do that?
I'm that old, yeah.
That's okay. You're in good company, you and I both. And you're passionate about digital sovereignty and building tools that protect individual freedom in a hyper-connected world. And you're definitely not a stranger to technology because you've been in this space for a long time and you've been developing a lot of different tools and different types of mechanisms to help people guard what's theirs, their private property, but also their sovereignty. I would say even on a mental, spiritual level. So I think that's super interesting. And you're a woman because that is quite rare to do that and to be in that space. I've always had to deal with that question of, being in tech and being a woman. And
How is it? Yeah.
yeah. So, take me back. You started with traditional finance in insurance.
And that was
And-
also a predominantly male space, by the way.
Of course. Absolutely.
But that's fine. I think actually it's to our favor to be women in such space.
Yep.
I don't
agree.
see any disadvantages
Absolutely. I agree with you.
in that. Do you want to hear more about that?
That's
It
what I'm
might
waiting
be-
for, dude.
It might be a bit
Go on.
boring, but okay.
It's not boring. I want to hear how you rolled up to come to
To
Bitcoin
come to here.
and here.
All right. So right after my university, I've had some small minor experiences, as everyone does. But my first bigger gig was building what is today the second largest network of insurance brokers and advisors. And I was lucky because I was very young, super junior, I would say. But my two bosses back then were extremely inspirational, first of all, very knowledgeable. They gave me the guidance and they gave me a lot of space to do stuff.
Amazing.
They saw some potential there. One of them was techie. He loved technology. And consider this was like early 2000s. There were no CRM systems and such tools that, you would just purchase off the shelf.
Yeah.
And so what we did is we built the first online office, you could say it, for insurance brokers and risk managers and risk advisors. We consolidated half of the market practically into one of the fastest growing companies in Central Europe for over 6 years. And took it to 2,000 people in less than 4 years.
Wow.
It was quite interesting. And then I did a couple more gigs in the insurance space.
Right.
Like the first online portal for insurance professionals. I worked with number one in the brokerage later on. And then I ended up working for Société Générale.
What
which
is Society Generale?
Société Générale.
French?
It's a big, decently big network of banks, insurance companies, building savings and, consumer lending, all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I was heading their external sales department. And then when I found Bitcoin,
Right.
and it was my moment, my aha moment. I was like between 10 to 11. I was also studying diplomacy and international relations
Yep.
at the time, and I was focusing on international monetary system in the current imbalances back then. China owing the debt of US and US issuing the only real international currency. And I was looking for a better form of money.
Right.
How lucky I was
Wow,
that
what
there
a
was such
timing.
Yeah, what a timing. I was just lucky to
It was meant
maybe
to happen, of course. Yeah.
and a good friend of mine, Pavel Luptak, he has his finger on the pulse of everything, always had. And I start talking about this topic, and I was researching like local currencies and purpose-specific currencies, all that stuff, and like nothing was good. And he was like, "Yeah, of course, like Bitcoin." What is this Bitcoin? So that's how I got into the rabbit hole. And then later on, there was
When he told you about it, did it make sense straight away?
I did not understand still how the technology works, obviously.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say today that I do understand
Okay.
deeply on a technical
Of
level.
course you do.
But it made sense on a high level. I started imagining a lot of stuff that can evolve from here. And then, then there was the first Bitcoin conference happening in 2011 in Europe. It was like 2 weeks after the first worldwide conference or something like that. That was in the US. But the first European one was happening in Prague. Again, I got lucky. I was like,
Wow.
I have to go. And there, Max Kaiser was jumping on the stage and yelling Bitcoin.
Cool.
And a lot of notable names, some of them still in the space. And well, I was like, okay, there's a conference now. Must be like, it's probably
Shaping up.
must be shaping up. People
Yeah.
are building stuff. And not long after, I reconnected with Slush and Stick, and they were
Slush and Stick are the founders today
of Trezor.
Trezor.
They made Trezor. They were already working on a prototype. They picked up on the idea because it was presented before by a German professor. He was working. There were several people trying to do a hardware wallet. Some of them did some home hobby projects. This professor was trying to build it with his students. They never finished, or we didn't find anything viable in the market. And so guys were like, okay, let's try and do it. And I was like, this is super interesting. Can I help you? And I started helping them while I was still working in the legacy finance.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of months doing both jobs, I was ready to just choose one, and that was SatoshiLabs. So I went full-time Bitcoin.
You're the Voice is brought to you by Trezor, the original Bitcoin hardware wallet company pioneering the development of self-custody for crypto assets since 2013, empowering individuals with an open-source device, enabling beginners and experts to easily and securely hold their coins. I find my Trezor super easy to use and recommend it to my friends and family. Enjoy my 5% discount on Trezor products by clicking the link in the show notes and using the code FLAT. Self-custody is powerful, but what if someone forces you to unlock your wallet? Bitcoin settles instantly, and that freedom can also be a risk. BitVault is the first Bitcoin wallet built to protect against both physical attacks and digital hacks. It creates a banking-grade vault on-chain with 2 of 3 multi-sig, time-delayed transactions, 2 hours to 15 days, giving you space to react, trustless recovery after 1 year, works with trusted hardware wallets, open source, and built with one focus, beyond keys, protecting humans. Only 42 lifetime subscriptions are available at $199 forever. Head over to bitvault.sv to sign up and use code FLAT for 10% off.
And then how did you guys arrange your roles? Who's doing what?
So guys, Slash was already deep in Bitcoin because he was running the first mining pool. So he had a good understanding of how Bitcoin works. Stick was great with hardware, with encryption. He was this endless tinkerer, to play.
Yeah.
And I did everything else. So anything that comes with building a business, hiring people, dealing with accountants and lawyers, dealing with the production and logistics and customer service and marketing.
Everything.
All the boring stuff.
It's
all
not
the
boring,
but necessary.
Of course.
To build a business out of it. Yeah.
Amazing. And you've been doing that for how long?
For about 4 years.
Amazing.
Yep.
And then how did the company evolve in those 4 years?
Well, the main point was that we have tackled the digital risk that was prevalent at that time in a fairly user-friendly way. Up until then, there was no way for people like you and me to just manage their Bitcoin safely.
Yeah.
And that was mission achieved, I would say.
Amazing.
We established a completely new market of hardware wallets.
Blue ocean.
It was a blue ocean,
Yeah.
literally. Right after us came Ledger to the space.
How long after?
They were working. So when we were launching Trezor, like the launching party, they already were working on it. So they must have been just about a year or so later than us, year or two maximum. And then there were many copycats coming up and forks of Trezor and not many originals, but surely after we had, Bitbox and Cold Card, so the space developed really nicely. Today you have many options to choose from depending on your level of, technical knowledge and what you're expecting from the hardware wallet. I think the space is like this is the norm. I would say it was not the norm before.
It is the norm, but still, if you hear the statistics of how many people actually use a hardware wallet, it's still nothing. It's like a few single percentages out of the whole.
Really?
Wallet holders. Last year, Mattia gave me that statistics here in Trezor when we talked about
Interesting.
it. I don't remember the number, sorry, but I think it's like 85% don't even have any hardware wallet. Like they all still hold their coins on exchanges. Sorry if I'm saying the wrong number. You can go check up my episode with Matthew. We talked about it there, but it's ridiculously low. So most people that hold crypto and Bitcoin today don't have a hardware wallet, which is ridiculous in my eyes.
I agree.
Right? It's like it's like building a home and not making sure you have a good lock on the door. More or less.
Yep.
Like you went into all that trouble of building your own home that is something very valuable, and then you won't protect it the right way.
True.
It's that simple.
True.
Right. Okay.
But it's also not that surprising when all the life starts to concentrate into a small device, that is like everything is inside one device.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable for people to just do everything through the phone.
That, and also it's hard to keep up the pace of the developments. And even if we think that, a cold storage wallet is so obvious, for most people who come into that space, they do have a learning curve, and it takes them time to realize how to do it properly.
Yeah. Or they just need to lose some money.
Yeah. There are different ways of learning.
I remember a story that was probably Shanghai, 2015. We went to a conference there, and there was a guy right next to us having a stand. I honestly don't remember what he was doing. Probably mining. And we had some nice ladies on our booth offering a discount for a Trezor wallet. And he did not buy it. And like 1 or 2 weeks later, turns out he got hacked. He lost like 1,000 Bitcoin or something like this. And he was regretting much. So, yeah, some people need to have that experience.
Shit.
Yep.
No, people, if you're still listening to me and you haven't got a hardware wallet, then please step up your game. Okay, let's keep going. So you were 4 years with Trezor, and then?
What was right after? Well, I was doing, after some time out, some traveling, and then some advisories for different businesses.
Yeah.
Also beyond Bitcoin. But then one of the conferences I was in, I was sitting on a panel with the founder of Casa and Jeremy. And I don't know the audience. I think it was some New York City, like Wall Street guys, suit and ties. And I just told them, like, if you mean it, with creating like a little fund or something like that, then I would definitely advise you to go with either this company or set up something like a multisig,
Yeah.
like what they're providing. They provide it with a white glove service. And so he was just very happy that I recommended him on stage. We started talking, and I was like, I have this idea in my drawer. Well, I have a drawer, with many ideas. And sometimes it's good to look in the drawer and look into the old notes. And I always wanted to create a home note, a little computer that would be working together with a hardware wallet, and that would allow you to have a network of such nodes with decentralized storage, decentralized applications, running Bitcoin node, running Lightning node, and so on. And so, working with Casa on that, we did the first plug and play Bitcoin Lightning network node, which was fun. It was a very funny first version, I must say, because it had this self-connecting cable. It was a Raspberry Pi
Yeah.
in a simple casing, and but it blew my mind how quickly it gotten out there. We've
To
had
the Bitcoin community?
to the Bitcoin community, but to what kind of people?
Okay.
We've had customers, like there was a couple, for example, that was 80 plus. And they always wanted to run a node, but it was way too
Wow,
technical.
what a weird combination.
And they were, seniors, and they just huge Bitcoin fans. But finally, there was some solution where they can just plug it and run it, and not worry about command line. So it was really from my point of view, a huge success.
Beautiful.
And again, it started an entire new market of nodes.
Yes.
Now you have many options to run
That's right.
at home, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? After I co-authored the Little Bitcoin book, which was my that was a pain point at that time. I wasn't able to. First of all, explaining Bitcoin is just like a couple sentences. That's difficult to a complete noob. And pointing to some literature is also difficult because at that time we had Mastering Bitcoin from Andreas Antonopoulos on the shelf. I don't even think that Saifedean's book was out.
I think it was later.
Yes, I think it was later. And there was maybe this little, the Bitcoin money for kids, with funny drawings.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like no good,
No
easy
resources.
to digest
Yeah.
literature. And so when I was in Oslo, at the Oslo Freedom Forum, 2018, we were like standing in the foyer or somewhere and complaining with other Bitcoiners, like
Bitching.
there's
Not
no
enough.
good book to give to these people that were attending the Oslo Freedom Forum, activists, journalists, dissidents, but just about like anyone from my friends,
Yeah.
without burdening them with too much technical stuff. And so that was a really cool project because I'm not a huge writer myself. Like I do write, but most of that is business stuff and marketing stuff, and some PR. But sitting and writing a book, I struggled finishing my thesis. So
And you took on a big project.
and now like a book, okay. But this was fun because it was eight authors. We met for 4 days
Yeah.
in one house. And in 4 days, the book was out.
Wow.
In 2 weeks later, it was published. So it's probably the smallest and the fastest ever written book on Bitcoin.
Amazing. Who are some of the others?
So guys from the Human Rights Foundation,
Yeah.
Alex Gladstein, Alex Lloyd, Jimmy Song, Luis Buenaventura, who else? Alex Machado, Lily Liu. Did I forget someone?
Beautiful.
It was really cool composition of authors because all of us were from very different background. We were from 5 continents. Venezuela had big trouble with money.
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia had a history with monetary trouble. Philippines, the same. America with their financial surveillance has a different set of trouble, So we were able to put in all these viewpoints in a quite simple to read, easy to read format.
What's the name of the book?
The Little Bitcoin Book.
Amazing.
Why Bitcoin matters for your future finances and freedom.
Awesome.
So it's really just like the big picture.
Yes.
Why you should be interested in Bitcoin, not how it works.
Yeah. Awesome.
Answering the most common questions and misconceptions about Bitcoin.
Super cool.
Yeah, super cool. Like, and it worked. It worked beautifully. I think I don't have the exact number of books sold. It's definitely one of the best sellers in Bitcoin up till
Awesome.
today. But it worked in the sense I went afterwards to some conference and speaking to a couple, and she goes like, my guy has been talking to me about Bitcoin for years, like 5 or 6 years. He was trying to brainwash me with this Bitcoin thing. And he was like, yeah, and she was always like, leave me alone. And then he ordered the Little Bitcoin Book, and he fell asleep on the couch, while reading it. Probably too boring for him. She grabbed the book while he was sleeping, she read the book.
Awesome.
He woke up and she says, I'm going with you to the conference.
Oh, that's so cool.
She was sold. She was sold. And I heard a lot of good good response, good feedback. So there's definitely space for this kind of approach, like not just highly technical, but also very approachable kind of writing.
Tired of feeling like your freedom and future are fading away? Do you live in a country with growing inflation, crazy housing prices, weird culture, and a chaotic economy? You're not alone, and my friend Mikkel Thorpe and his team at Expat Money can help. Mikkel is the world's leading expat consultant on a mission to free you from broken systems. He's been an expat for 25 years, lived in 9 different countries, and has helped hundreds of people with second residencies and passports, offshore banking, international investing, and many other essential tools. If you're serious about protecting your wealth and your family, it's not enough to hope things will get better. You need a plan B in another country. The team at Expat Money can help you build it legally, safely, and without wasting years of research. Visit expatmoney.com/eflat and leave your details for a follow-up. In a world hypnotized and sleepwalking towards totalitarian control and digital enforcement, awakened voices rise to inspire change and radiate hope. In December 2024, I had the honor of hosting Professor Matthias Desmet at a conference I produced called New Totalitarian Order. This masterclass is now recorded and available to watch. The conference explores the psychology behind global mass processes, offering a behind-the-scenes look at science, economics, and human potential. It addresses challenging global agendas, mass formation, transhumanism, consciousness, societal change, and the path to transformation. Click the link in the show notes to access 3.5 hours of exclusive presentations, in-depth content, and my fireside chat with Professor Desmet. Use my code EFRAT for 10% off. I hope you find great value in it. That is super interesting. Okay, I want to ask you something before we get into today and what you do today and what projects you're working on today. So, as someone that has been in this space forever and ever, I mean, more or less from when it began, you have a very unique point of view, also being involved in so many different companies and seeing this space evolve throughout the years. What is your opinion? What is your view, the Alena view, on the evolution of this nascent technology that has more or less appeared out of nowhere? I mean, yes, there were I forget the words, like other technologies that existed there before to base Bitcoin on, but it was relatively nascent and very exciting. And then from this small project that no one knew if it's going to take off or not became what it is today, 15, 16 years later. And now you're seeing, governments and institutions and enterprises and the suits embracing it. So what is your view on those 15, 16 years?
They say it was inevitable. I don't know. Some people were losing patience, I think, along the way, because the idea was like, obviously, this is the better form of money. So hey, world, what are you waiting for? So people thought like in 10 years, everyone will know Bitcoin and everyone will have Bitcoin. And now we're 15 years and it's still quite fringe. And the reason being there was a continuous war on Bitcoin led through using the mass media.
Yeah.
Brainwashing people into thinking that it's a criminal money, that it's too volatile, too risky, too shady.
To everything. They
Too
came
much
up
of
with
everything.
Yeah.
And now the game continues into trying to co-opt Bitcoin as, whatever they're trying to do. So
how do you see it being co-opted?
Trying to really regulate through and through whatever there can be regulated, make it almost impossible to use as the freedom money that it was created. So yeah, basically countries trying to create their strategic Bitcoin reserves by confiscating other people's money, by using, I think they will go smart about it. They will first of all try to attack a lot of companies, a lot of actors in the space.
Okay.
Prove that they either haven't paid their taxes or they have acquired the Bitcoin via whatever.
Illegally or in some way.
Illegally
Yeah.
and whatnot, without licensing. That will be a good one. And then through dormant asset laws.
What does that mean?
Dormant asset laws are in place in every country.
Oh, we're talking about the great taking, like.
Well, the great taking. It's like this is in place since a long time.
Yeah.
Every country has a limit, on a time limit when you can leave your money in the bank or on some account with the insurance company or some investment company and not move it.
Okay.
And if you don't move it for 5 or 10 years, depending each jurisdiction is a little bit different, the state will take it and they can use it for the public good. It is for your protection, they say, because
they hold it for you.
They
and if you
hold
want
it
to
for you
claim it
securely, and you can claim it anytime back. Now the devil's in the detail. How are you gonna claim back your assets and Bitcoin?
They have now passed this kind of legislation in California as well. That
They've had that legislation. They just
in many
enacted,
states, not in California.
Yeah.
Now they did it
in
on
California.
Bitcoin.
It's 3 years only. Okay, and they enacted Bitcoin to it.
Exactly.
Specifically.
Exactly. And when I saw it, I said it's ridiculous. And some Bitcoiners came up and told me, we were part of helping to shape up this legislation. We think it's great. And I'm like, in what world is it great that the state takes your property? I don't care how great you think you are helping people. The state should have no business, zero business with what's ours. That's in my opinion.
It's in the world where you think that corporations are big evil and the state is here to protect you against the private businesses.
Or
taking
you know
advantage.
what? Or the state is here to protect you, period, from anything, anyone. I do not buy it. I don't think that the state needs to handle my business in any way. Definitely not with my property or money.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, so that's another way you're saying that it could be co-opted, okay.
But in the end, when I learned about Bitcoin in the very first years, I was thinking, okay, This is like a reserve. I don't want to say central bank reserve because it's like a reserve held by people. It's gonna be a something like a gold standard in down the line, because the limitation on the supply just makes it to the ultimately scarce asset out there. And I was thinking, okay, eventually people will experiment with other cryptos and start pegging it to Bitcoin. That was like, it's not what I wanted to do myself, but I was imagining this would happen. And of course, you cannot, it's a free money. So free money in the sense, it's not asking who you are. You can be a good, bad person. You can be a company. You can be a government to own Bitcoin. And I think that's fine, as long as it's not acquired by theft. As long as it's acquired by proof of work.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm taking you back to my question. So zooming out on the last 15 or 16 years, you think that the evolution of this technology and project is inevitable, right? If I hear you right, like it's going the way it has to go and you cannot control what's happening. Is it faster, slower than what you had thought in terms of adoption? Is it as big or small as you thought, like when you were just starting off?
Depends how I wake up,
It depends on the day.
Yes, really. Sometimes I see so many awesome developments and new projects, and it's like it really whirls your mind how much is happening.
Yeah.
When you step outside of our micro world, when you step outside of the venues on BTC Pay, BTC Prague,
yeah.
then and you listen to other people, they have no idea what's going on.
Right.
It's probably dead. That this Bitcoin, it still
Right.
exists.
Yeah.
Oh no way! It's over $100,000. So it really depends which perspective you're taking. Seeing it a little bit closer up, I think it's incredibly moving forward.
Oh yeah.
The tools, the wallets that we have these days, it's just mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
In the early days, you had desktop wallets, you had Bitcoin Core, you had to be a real guru and geek to be able to that one. There was Electrum, which still is running today, by the way. There was Multibit, run by two guys out of UK. That's closed. And there used to be Armory, and that's also dead. And so these were like the four desktop applications. And out of the mobile wallets, there was the Bitcoin wallet from Germany. And soon after, around the time, Mycelium started. I don't know if Mycelium is still going.
I don't know, but there is an abundance of new wallets and technologies coming out all the
Green
time.
Address was there still, yeah. So these were most of the wallets, basically. And now
It's amazing.
I keep constantly hearing about wallets I never heard of. And then new approaches. Mini scripts are coming, which is fantastic.
What are mini scripts?
It allows you to add features to the very robust and lame Bitcoin. It allows you to create some conditioning, something like smart contracts that Ethereum has, but without bloating. Yes. So you can have wallets like Liana that allows you to set some delays on withdrawals, stuff like that. It's really cool what's coming. I think soon we will enter like a yet another phase of Bitcoin wallets. Hopefully better backup solutions, hopefully easier to use, hopefully better ways to inherit Bitcoin.
Right. That's a super important
Inheritance
topic.
is Yeah, you can set up a good multisig.
Yeah.
You can play with Shamir secret sharing, of course. It's a bit nerdy, but it's a good way. It's still paper backup.
Yeah, but most
Multisig-
people will not bother.
Multisig is more operational. I would say you can still use it while you have a good security. So solving inheritance nicely would be cool.
Would be very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing. And
It's not going to be boring in the next few years, huh?
No. Well, no.
No, and then yeah, no. If you want to add anything else, because I want to take you to today.
Yeah, I'm actually bridging there. Unfortunately, it's also not gonna be boring because of the Bitcoin price. The number go up.
Yep.
Is attracting bad guys again.
Yep.
And so when we were starting to build a hardware wallet to protect against digital risks, soon after introducing hardware wallets, we saw the first Bitcoin ransomware.
Right.
So people started extorting Bitcoiners. They would steal their private data, photos, sensitive data, or just outright lock their computers and say, if you don't pay Bitcoin, you lose all your computers. And so similar criminal minds now step forward more and more into the actual kidnapping and extortion. And we don't have great solutions for that. So I was thinking how to solve it, and I started Glok.
So that's a new startup or a new project. Do you call it a startup already? Or it's still called a project?
It's called Project, yeah.
Okay, so we have a new project called Glok, Glok, right?
Yes.
And how long have you been working on it now?
I've been thinking about this topic since 2018. Because that's where we had a lot of kidnappings happening. 2017 was the spike of price.
Yep.
By the way, anytime there's a spike in price
Yep.
in Bitcoin, there's a spike in
Criminal activity.
bad guys trying
Yeah.
to steal your Bitcoin. So
Obviously.
that was the first bigger wave of kidnappings, and I was already having discussions with former Navy SEALs and military guys to figure out what could be the best approach to making a normal guy in a black T-shirt and greasy hair who happens to have a few Bitcoins to protect himself. And I didn't do anything about it up until earlier this year. And when I got a kick, I realized that, okay, this is starting to happen again and again. And right now we are at more than 2 kidnappings per week.
Wow.
In the crypto space and the Bitcoin space.
Wow.
And these are numbers that are reported, that are known.
Yeah,
but
so imagine how much is not reported.
Probably 60 to 80% at least, maybe even more than that, is underreported.
Underreporting, yes.
Yeah. So it's an issue because when you're born into a wealthy family, you are born into the adversarial thinking or the anti-risk thinking. So wealthy people have their assets in trusts and funds. They don't have their name on their house bell or their mailbox. They don't. You don't find their faces online. They don't speak about having Bitcoin. They don't talk about it. Oh, I'm a whole coiner. You see a lot of people shouting online, and they shouted probably a couple of years ago, and I'm a whole coiner now. I have 1 BTC, and now they realize, oh, but that's over 100K worth in dollars. And there's some regions of the world where that money is a big money.
Of course.
And we've had stories, unfortunately, of people being killed for way less than half of a Bitcoin.
Wow.
So a Bitcoiner is absolutely unprepared for this.
Yes.
Unaware. For most of them, it's a risk that they may assign to just, the Brian Armstrongs of this space, like you must be really a big business guy or whatever, OG miner to be at risk. No, that's not the case. The truth of it is anyone can be at risk.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever touched a regulated crypto exchange and provided their home address is, by the way, KYC is just outright dangerous for human security and life. And if I was a lobbyist, this would be one thing that I would be constantly doing, lobbying to ban KYC. We have more than 18 million usernames and email addresses leaked online.
We had recently a
More than-
huge leaked.
More than 2.2 million is with home addresses and transaction history.
Ooh. Wow.
Coinbase, Gemini, Robinhood, Ledger customers, there's much more.
Yeah.
These are the people that walk the streets unaware of them being a target. And so we gotta arm up, just like we armed up, with using a hardware wallet
Yeah.
and with using a multi-sig.
Yeah.
It's time to arm up on the physical level, privacy level.
And how do you do that
trading.
with Glok?
I started by creating a physical security checklist for myself, asking myself questions and writing them down, and trying to see if there's anything I can do to improve my security. So if I can share this with your viewers,
Absolutely.
we'll
put a link to
with your
it.
fans. It's you just go to glok.me/checklist. You can download it for free and print it out and start self-evaluating whether you bought your house in your name. For example, what are all the public registries that people can search and find where you live? To your mobile security, how are you leaking your location, your whereabouts? Are you tweeting where you're going to be next up?
Yes.
Are you even tweeting which hotel and a picture of the hotel room? Stuff like that. So some basic awareness, some situational awareness, some behavioral changes that need to be done come from going through the checklist. There's how to secure your home space.
Yeah.
Just securing basic logs. Can you log the windows? What do you do when you leave home? Do you wait until the garage door closes? Who can get in and how? Who can get visual access to your windows?
So many things to consider.
Up to just staying vigilant on the street. How to spot that you're being followed, that you're being surveilled, what to do. Are you gonna run home? Would that be your answer, to
For
the
me?
situation? Yeah, for what would you do? So just start thinking about those things. And then the last question on that list was okay, now imagine the kidnapping is happening.
Yeah.
Am I well prepared? Do I have a setup that allows me to win time? That would be the multi-sig, for example, okay, or some time locks, some distribution of wallets, so that your beloved ones or whoever is there to transfer the money cannot get their hands on it quickly and easily. How do I behave when I'm taken? What should I do? What should I not do? How to de-escalate the situation? How to maintain inner calm? And most of all, how do I get found?
Yes.
When I need it.
Yes.
And so I was searching online. There's a ton of different devices and trackers and tracking apps and everything else connected to like surveilling your loved ones
Yes.
to keep them safe.
Yes.
But none of them was good. None of them was good enough for a Bitcoiner.
Right.
You would either have some little devices that work with Bluetooth only and use the connection to your phone to send out an alert. Well, that's fine, but it only works for the first couple of minutes. And then when you're transported somewhere else and your phone is being taken, it doesn't work anymore. Then you have a lot of solutions that need other that need some network of phones, like the AirTag
Yes.
from Apple. That's great, but not to use for yourself. You don't want to constantly have a trace of where you're going. You want to probably put it into the luggage occasionally when you travel, just in case it gets lost. Oh, it landed on a different airport. None of them would be autonomous. And so I started thinking, okay, maybe I have to do my own. The first thing that Glok is going to launch is a mobile app. A mobile app that allows you to launch the alert fairly quickly with just like a button click or a quick press. It will geolocate you and encrypt the GPS and send through the Nostr network to a list of your recipients. So you will whitelist recipients, you will pre-approve. They will also approve that you
That
can
they
actually
are-
send alerts to them, so they will watch your back.
Yeah.
I will not know who you are because we're using Nostr identities. I will not know where you are because the GPS position will be encrypted. And I will not be attackable, so I will not run any servers that will relay these alerts. All of the other solutions are running a server. So if I know that that person is a high-value target and he or she happens to use a certain device, then I would probably DDoS the services of that company, then kidnap, if I was a bad guy. So I will not be a honeypot of the knowledge about
Right.
Bitcoiners.
So there is no incentive to come after your data. Like
There-
the data you hold of other people,
there is no
because there
data.
is no data.
There is
It's
no
just
data.
transferable all the time.
Yeah.
Got
people
it.
people will run it on their phones, transmit over Nostr relays. There's a list of Nostr relays, so it will be there will be fallback scenarios. We need to ensure deliverability of the alert. You need it to work, right? And then, of course, no technology is good enough unless it's used properly and unless people are ready. So another weakness of Bitcoiners, what I observe is we overestimate technology and underestimate human factor.
Okay.
Okay, so we think, oh, I have this really strong passphrase. I have multi-sig and Shamir secret sharing and whatnot. But then there is a situation when they take someone's father hostage and they start cutting off fingers. And what do you do then? We are not ready for that, right? We underestimate all the other preparation that needs to be done
Right.
and how to deal with this. I know it's not a very jolly...
Convenient,
It's
fun topic.
It's not a very jolly topic, but I also don't want to people...
But it's also
I
super
don't want
important.
people... No, and I don't want people to be depressed about it or scared
Right.
or like anxious. My goal is the absolute contrary. Like we arm up and everyone who will come after Bitcoiners will regret. That's my mindset.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. So that's why I'm also trying to set up a nice program of education. Sorry.
So that people kind of become aware that there is such a thing that hopefully will make them think twice before they try to perform these kind of attacks.
Anyone carrying a Glock on them is not a good target.
Not a good target.
Not a good target.
Right. That's a good way of putting
Where
it. Yeah.
I have a headline: if unarmed, carry a Glock.
Isn't a Glok also a name of a
There's
weapon?
yeah,
There
but
is a Glok.
yeah, with the CK. My Glock doesn't use any bullets.
That's cool. I love that.
Okay, it's a deterrence mechanism and
Yeah.
a mechanism to summon help when you need it.
Yeah.
Together with this will come a training. We're launching a one-day training.
Yeah.
That is a counter-kidnapping training designed specifically for crypto and Bitcoin owners. It's a day packed with knowledge from former military guys, people who have been rescuing guys out of hostage situations from the Middle East to Sub-Saharan Africa. They've done close protection, they've done close combat.
Wow, that's really useful.
And they've done also training specifically, like they trained government employees that were traveling to hostile and volatile environments on the behavior skills, on how to avoid.
When is that happening?
We will do one, the next one is happening in Riga.
In August?
In 8th of August, right before the Baltic Honey Badger.
So I need to get this episode before. Okay, maybe. Yeah, let's see.
If that's possible, fine. If not, there will be much more coming
There
up.
will be more. Okay.
We'll try to provide this with every Bitcoin conference.
That's a good idea.
Hopefully with all the other crypto conferences too.
Yeah.
Anyone in this space needs a better awareness, skill up, and be safer, more secure.
And they can get information about it on the Glok website?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
glok.me/training.
We'll put a link to
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. Wow. That is such a topic to tackle. You chose another real one. Real Alena choosing real stuff.
I don't like bad guys, let's put it like that.
Of course.
I
who
like,
likes
when
bad
people
guys?
earn their money and they lead normal lives. And I also don't want to be walking afraid in this world. That's not me. I think none of us should be. And then I go to some conference and see some guy from an exchange telling to the noobs in the space to be afraid to buy their Bitcoin peer-to-peer because you're gonna get dirty coins, and
Oh, come on.
it's only safe if you keep it on exchanges, and this is just wrong
Bullshit.
on so many levels.
Yeah.
So I want to provide yet another level of security where people can, okay, I can go and buy peer-to-peer. I will be safe. I can do, whatever I want to do in my life because I have a network of people that are watching my back. And leveraging this beautiful community that is out there. And even if you're not connected to any Bitcoiners, that's fine. You can just create a watcher, Glocker group with your family and friends. This will be available to anyone for free. The app is going to be for free. So I'm hoping that people in crime-ridden places of the world can start a neighborhood watch simply by creating a group, watching each other, and a girl walking at night being followed by someone will just click the big red button, and someone from the neighbors will come out or just call her. Even calling the potential victim is an act of deterrence. The criminals usually get like, oh, this is not a good situation to attack. Let me back off.
She's not alone. She's being helped.
Yeah.
Or...
There's as being a woman, obviously my motivation is not just help Bitcoiners, but also help women to be more safe. There's been a huge increase in sexual assaults and rape in Europe in the last 10 years.
Yes.
The statistics are crazy. It's over 150% increase in just this department. Not in all parts of Europe. Some parts of Europe are still very safe.
Yeah.
But if you look into Sweden, UK, Belgium, France, Spain, Germany, those places are not safe as they used to be.
Definitely.
For girls especially. So yeah, that would be probably another area where this could be used.
Absolutely. Super important.
Yeah.
Amazing that you're working on it. I'm so happy to hear about it. That's really, really great. Now, let's stay on that topic of women or girls. We both sat on a panel a few days ago for women in Bitcoin. So, and in the beginning of this conversation, you mentioned how it's actually quite an advantage or a really pleasing experience to be a woman in this industry. And I agree with you, because from the first moment I got into this community, I just felt so embraced and accepted and loved. Obviously, there is the occasional douchebag here and there, and people that are just mean or bored or whatever. I call them the keyboard heroes. They feel like a hero behind the keyboard. But on the most part, it's a really embracing, loving, and accepting community to be part of, even more so than any other business or tech community that I've been part of. And I have been to many. So what's your take on the women in Bitcoin topic?
Again, depends what day you ask me. One day I wake up and I feel the exactly opposite. There's difference between the Bitcoin space and the corporate space,
Right.
In the way people treat each other.
Yeah.
In Bitcoin, there's more honesty, but also more cruelty.
Yeah.
In corporate world, people are more
A bit more polite. Yeah, that's right.
People are
More
just more
civil.
polite.
Yeah.
More civil, more polite.
Yeah.
They don't dare to, especially like you're representing a corporation.
Yeah.
You there's a name put on your shoulder or on your forehead.
Yeah.
And you better behave nicely. So at the same time, there can be like weird situation for a woman in that space as well.
Sure.
I was one of very few top level managers in that space, and I just learned to not wear a deep décolleté, for example. So there's that. It's different kind of weirdos in that space. The weirdos in Bitcoin will start talking about hash rate on the first date. Let's put it like that. It's different. It's more genuine. It can be more cruel, as I said, unforgiving.
What do you think women should remember when they come into this space? What should they know?
That Bitcoin is for everyone.
Right. Absolutely.
And also that in most families, women are the driving force behind purchase decisions.
Economic decisions, that's right.
Economic decisions. Women are the ones that are more risk averse, that are built, their DNA is built to preserve life, to preserve everything that supports life.
Preserve and nurture.
Nurture, exactly. And so the role of a woman in the home finances is irreplaceable.
Critical.
The guys will go and invent all the cool stuff for the woman.
Yeah.
And that's a very like stereotypical now.
Of course.
We have some women inventing cool stuff in Bitcoin. But the stereotype is as such that it's usually the men like tinkering and the women making it then ubiquitous in the real life. And so there's space for everyone. I was super delighted and impressed by the engagement of women at that panel we had. How genuinely interested in practical solutions they were.
Yep.
How happy to hear some advice, like they're writing down notes.
Absolutely.
That's really lovely.
I agree with you. And I think that women are also looking for groups where they can feel more comfortable to express who they are without being apologetic, or even sometimes simply like not being heard, not being listened to. And that is something that I did experience in many scenarios where I was an only woman or just in a minority, where men can be sometimes so dominating the space, and like, you know, our voices are lower and maybe quieter physically, and sometimes we take more time to analyze things before we talk, or we want to listen as well. And so sometimes you tend to disappear if you are in such communities. And I think for many women, and I think both you and I don't really have an issue with that, because if we want to, we can just elbow someone and get our expression out there. I don't think we suffer from this thing, but many women do. And I get many women approaching me, like in person, whenever I go around the world, thanking me for creating that type of space for them so that they can also show up and speak out and feel comfortable and be around like-minded women, and or have a podcast where they see a woman, you know, talking about things like that maybe women don't necessarily talk about. So my take on it is that we just need to be who we are, and by that we lead by example and give inspiration to other women, and that's enough. Like, we don't need to do so much more than that.
For me, it is a little bit of a social game, and a litmus paper into probing what kind of person is in front of me. Typically, a woman in the space can be just someone's girlfriend, right?
Yes.
And so I'm a very observant of people and how they behave to other people. And there's a group of people, you know, and there comes a guy and hands his hand to all the guys and skips the girls.
Oh, it happens to me so many times.
That person, I'm unlikely to engage in conversation after, okay? And it doesn't matter whether man or woman. I want to see, is this person interested in the other person? Does he ask, what are you up to? What you're doing? Who are you?
Or are they just talking about themselves?
Or are they just self-promoting, right? So I would take it away from the man woman to the level of human personality, and how actually people act to each other.
Absolutely.
Do they speak over each other, or do they have a conversation? Are they genuinely interested in the other people? And
are they really listening?
Yes, exactly. Yes, and that would be probably more important for me than the statistics of how many women we have in the space.
I'm with you. 1,000%.
Although I must say that I'm delighted to see how many chicks are out there.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
It's awesome.
That meetup was 70 women. Whoa.
And there could have been a lot more, because some of them just didn't know about it because of marketing. Like, we didn't have much time to do marketing. But
you know, one of the first conferences in Bitcoin I was to was 2013, I think, in Amsterdam.
Were you the only
one?
And
there was probably 400 people in the room. We counted 4 women.
4 women, yeah. 1%, sure.
1%.
Sure.
I think I was the only one professionally involved.
Right, of course.
And now you go to the expo at BTC Prague, and you see women
everywhere
doing the business and everything. So that's a huge move. Like,
absolutely.
The main topic, the main theme of that event was Bitcoin going mainstream, and you can see that. You can see that it's happening, and it's not happening with the Michael Saylors, you know, of the world, and with that, it's happening when you see 70-year-old women coming to this conference, and asking the right kind of questions. So yeah, 15 years and yeah, it's happening.
It's happening, and we're so on the right track. No, I'm with you. We are so early.
Yeah.
We are really early. I am so curious. I'm so grateful to be alive right now and just to wait and see how this thing evolves. It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah. Did you ever think that Bitcoin is still gonna be Bitcoin, or that it may be replaced by something else? I was playing with that.
I've
idea.
only been in that space for like 3.5 years, so I don't think I've ever asked myself this question, because when I came into this space, it was already a fact. It was already like, it's here to stay. This is not going to go. I mean, the more I learned what it is and how it is used and the use cases and everything, it was like, this is not going to be replaced.
Good.
I don't think so. May be.
It's the usual beginner doubts.
Right. And also the... technology is evolving so fast. So who fucking knows what's going to happen in 10 years or 15 years? Who knows what quantum is going to bring with it? Like, I am really staying open, but I do believe that Bitcoin has a really good chance of sticking around for centuries. I think it's a solid technology. Don't you?
Well, now we only need to survive those couple centuries.
That's right. That is doubt. I have doubt in that more than I have doubt in the actual protocol, to be honest with you.
Efrat, let's do less party then, More sauna.
More sauna,
More
dude.
healthy lifestyle.
Alena, let's go to the sauna. What are we doing here with all these fake lights? Let's go to the sun and the sauna. Dear, okay. Let me ask you one last question then. What gives you hope and inspiration for the coming decades?
I returned back to being pronoic. I was a pronoid person.
What is pronoid?
It's the opposite of paranoid.
Oh, is it? I never heard this word before. Paranoid and pronoid?
A paranoid person thinks that everyone's conspiring against you.
Yes.
And that everyone's trying to take away from you or whatever, beating you in your game.
Yeah.
And when I was little, I just I was convinced that everything's working out in my favor. And so sometimes I didn't prepare for the exams and my mom was worried. And I was like, Mom, it's going to be just fine. And it was always fine.
Yeah.
And there was a period in my life where I stumbled and I fell on my nose and I wasn't feeling in my strength. And I took a few years to rebuild myself from inside. And now I am led by this pronoic mindset that there is, something that's guiding me, or that I'm doing the right steps, because my focus is there onto building Glok to help people. I think if it turns out well, it can really improve the situation for many out there. And this is what I'm doing now. This is what I'm supposed to do now. I don't know what I'm gonna do in 10 years from now, but this is it, and I'll give it my best shot.
Yep.
And the universe is there,
Oh yeah, to support you and guide you.
Conspiring in my favor.
Conspiring and to your success, Alena.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Please keep doing what you're doing. This is so important. And never get tired of us in this space. I know you can. You have that privilege because you've been around for a long time. But thank you for persisting and sticking around and doing this. We need you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Please take a minute to give this episode a like, a comment, and subscribe or follow. And please share it with your friends so they can also get value and choose to take some positive action in their lives. Till next time.